Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
And welcome back, everybody. Last time, or a few times previous, when we got together with her, we talked about AI. And that was a few months ago. Now, fast forward to now. Even in that short period of time, things have progressed in terms of artificial intelligence. I'm actually paying for a bunch of it right now. Loving it. I never thought I would, because you can get a lot of it for free, but it's actually helped me. I have a marketing company, make major progress in a lot of different areas using AI done right. She is somebody that helps people harness the power of this. We're going to talk about AI powered leadership. She is the CEO and business coach at Inoatar. She's also an author of a book called The Dark Side of Agile Coaching and a upcoming book called AI Powered Leadership, which is what we're focusing on today with Angela Doyle. Welcome back. How you doing?
Thank you. Appreciate it. I'm glad to be back. How are
Great to
you?
have you back. I'm good. I'm good. I'm intrigued to learn from our professional of the year yourself about AI powered leadership. How do you define that generally?
So generally, in a general notion is this, it's leaders that use data, analytics, and their data to actually give insights and guide them to make strategic choices. So that's what I would say, the AI powered leadership. It's not, it's guiding them to make better choices, to see the whole picture instead of part of the picture, and to look at everything from a data perspective and then drive those decisions so they
Do
can
you
make the best data
do you
decisions.
feel it's critical to not let AI drive you, but you to drive the AI? Just use the information and then craft your decisions or direction that you want to go in.
Oh, I think that's a valid point. That's awesome that you pointed that out because yeah, I think sometimes in our culture right now, everybody's trying to get on to AI. They're trying to like implement AI in some form or some way from all kinds of organizations.
Hmm.
And the AI is actually driving that. And you can see that. You can see that on the
Totally.
news. You can see that in every organization right now. It's driving it. And we have to be able to, in order to harness that power of AI, we need to be able to drive AI, not AI drive us.
I so many times I'll get presentations, information, proposals, more formal stuff. And it's so obvious that it came right from AI. It's so obvious that it wasn't even really edited. And I believe that is the kiss of death because it's good to have the data and a broad stroke of things, but I feel you have to call it back. Let's look at applying it to business. What are some real examples where AI has transformed leadership decisions?
So, in one example is Walmart. Walmart is using AI to make to reduce operational costs so they can actually be able to understand what the customer's needs are and to be able to understand, what the customers are wanting right now. And so those operational costs is allowing and it's helping with staffing right now. So I think
Hmm.
that Walmart's been using that. JP Morgan is using that. And they do, I think it's around 12,000 contracts. And AI, they're using AI data to be able to implement things a lot quicker so the leaders can be more focused not on paperwork, but more on strategy. And I think their AI tool that they're doing that with is named Coin.
Hmm. What's your overall opinion? I'd love to get more examples in a sec, but what's your overall opinion with the way that they're using it? Do you believe in it? Do you think it's a best way to pilot?
I think that's the key. You need to pilot it before you decide to go all in on transformations, whether it's agile transformations, whether it's AI transformations. We need to understand and learn from a pilot first before we implement this throughout the whole organization, because that allows us to kind of really analyze the AI tool, whatever AI tool that is. That may be chatbots, that may be other type of robotics or machine learning that you're talking about. But you've got to kind of have that time to really analyze the data to figure out, well, what kind of data did it come back? Was there AI biases that came back
Mm.
that could be given the amount and the severity? Has that created risks? So there definitely has to be a pilot, I feel, and a human, always a human looking at the outputs to verify and check that for the accuracy.
1000%. And here's a great example, recent one. Friend of mine throws into, I think it was Chat GPT 5, which is the latest, and just said, please tell me who the dominant political party is in the United States. It got it wrong. Then, then he asked, who's the president of the United States? No politics here, just it was an obvious question, a factual question. It got it wrong. And then he started pressing it for showing where it got its information from. After drilling down a number of times, it basically admitted that it made a mistake. So, to your point, you have to be in control of AI, not allowing it to control you. And I think a lot of us forget about that. We just assume that, well, it called the internet, it went, 64 different sources, it knows it's, intelligent. Not so much sometimes. So we got to keep an eye on it, right?
Yeah, yeah. We have to realize that all that data that's coming into AI, it is somewhat on the internet.
Mm,
And you think that it's collecting things from what people have said on the internet. So what is that output? Where is it pulling from? And if
exactly.
it's pulling from a lot of things, whether it's on the internet or it's data that's around, then it has a probability. There is a probability that some of this data is incorrect.
Well, how does that go? Garbage in equals garbage out.
Yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm.
So within your book, you have 10 different strategies essentially for driving growth, boosting efficiency, building agility within a business. We've talked about some examples of how some major companies are using AI. The strategies that we're referring to, can you pick one? Give us a broad look at maybe one of those.
Well, I think one of them, I'll give you one. The one strategy is we have to do a current assessment of where we are.
Mm,
Your company maybe is quite different than another company, okay? Than a healthcare company that has to do with also has to be, compliant in somewhat with HIPAA laws and privacy laws and various
sure.
different things like that. So when we're thinking about AI, Anthem has got an AI tool right now they use to help predict patient needs. And that's, helped reduce the cost and helps kind of understand what's coming up and what the patient needs are. But at the same time, and that's been very good for Anthem,
Sure.
our here. But I think that we have to think about our current state. First of all, if you don't have the data, like Google has all this data, right? They've been collecting for years. If you don't have the data as a company, whether it's small business, large business, I think that's going to be very difficult to be able to predict or use that data analytics and use an AI tool to predict certain types of forecasts. We have hedge funds right now in New York, as you know, that have been using, forecasting and data for a long time. And that's been because they have collected all that data, especially
Sure.
on the various different stocks, the various different the types of times of the year, the seasons, what's the market rhythm, what is the, uh, where we are right now. So I think that if you have the data, you have a good chance of doing it, but are you prepared? And where are the gaps? Where are the gaps within your organization so that you can start where you are to fill those gaps or mitigate those gaps? So I think that's probably the biggest thing. A lot of people want to do AI. It depends on the type of AI. There's a lot of AI out there.
Oh yeah. And thank you for mentioning Google and how they have years and years of data. Many people don't realize that when you do a Google search and then the results come up in the paid search, that it's all about intent. Google has collected so much, it's almost a little scary,
Mhm.
data on all of us. And even from third party data that they pull in, they compare that even if you're searching and your intent isn't really true, it already knows. Like, example, you could be a cosmetic surgeon and you're paying a company to do your Google advertising, or you're paying Google to put your ads out there. You do a search for, let's say, breast augmentation. You're paying a
Yep.
lot of money, but you're not coming up first in the search results, and you're frustrated. What is going on with that? Well, the reason for that is you're a 54-year-old cosmetic surgeon. You're not a 44-year-old female looking for breast augmentation, and that's why you didn't see your ad because Google knows that.
Right.
You didn't even have to tell it; it already knew.
Yeah, yeah, that's funny. That is
It's pretty
hilarious.
scary in a way because Big Brother has been watching for a long time, and that's
Yeah,
just the way it is. And how do they get all that data? We said yes. You ever sign up for something and the terms and conditions, you just scroll through, click, click, click. Yeah, 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 yeah. They got you. You gave
yeah,
it to them.
that's true, which is different in the UK and it's different in Europe. There's a lot
Mm,
of different laws in Europe about data and about privacy laws and
mm.
personal data that is different than the US.
That's a
It's
really good point. I forgot about that, quite honestly. Yeah, it is. It is different. Even Google's over there too, but
Mhm.
different set of rules for that. Um, what other thoughts you want to share about empowering leaders to use AI?
I think that we have to think about the AI biases that could come. That's a barrier that could come. So when we're looking at AI and implementing that as a leader for strategy or for product development, that's something that is that we can do for product development is helping us write the various different requirements for product. You know,
Hmm.
we have to look at the intent and the intent of the product. What is the product going to be used? And before we kind of look at AI and just type it in and let's just use everything. So it's quick. Yeah, it's quick. It helps us be more productive.
Sure.
Um, but I feel like we have to look at that and review it. There has to be a human reviewing or multiple humans reviewing some of the output, and then that we decide what is the best. And I think this is just to help us get started, help our minds think in a certain way, in a more broader way,
Yep.
um, instead of using maybe, our own experiences. So it helps to broaden our insight to be able to dive in and drill down a little bit deeper into the data.
One thing I'm getting from you, Angela, is the data. We shouldn't look at AI to be the end all. It
Hmm.
should be just a data tool and leave it at that. And it's wonderful for that. But as if, even back in the day when you went to an encyclopedia and you went up looking up something and you needed some information, very primitive form of doing it compared to today. But it was this, you just got information and then you took it and used it. It seems like that's the way we should be looking at AI, just for the data, the information, or maybe a starting point to generate a couple of ideas and then tweak them from that point forward. Does that seem reasonable for a leader? They want to maximize their use?
Yeah, I think so. But when we think of AI, it's a lot of we're talking one type of AI, like a search engine, chat GBT, those type of things that have to do with data and insights. But there is a lot of other things with
Yeah.
AI. So you're thinking when we look at AI, and that's why I would suggest to leaders, take one AI tool that's very simple to use as a pilot that you might have um, need some more accuracy, some more understanding, and do a pilot. Like for instance, if they're talking about machine learning, we're talking about building robots, for data inventory. Then that's a different type of data. Not data, but it's also a different type of tool, AI tool. So there's various different AI tools that we use. I would think the one that's most popular for the public as well as, business at times is the Copilot, ChatGPT, those type of areas that do use a lot of data.
Mm.
Take one simple tool that people are used to, like prompt engineering that they are looking at, and understand and apply it to a concept that you want to limit a lot of time and produce more productivity in that area. So let's say you have like 5 or 7 agile teams, or a program that's using agile, or the whole company maybe that's using agile, and you have to write a strategy, or you have to write a feature that is coming out, or a capability that's coming out. You're breaking down this whole like product that you're going to develop, and you want to break it in small increments. You can use ChatGPT, Copilot, various different things to help you break that down. As a product manager and product management, you can actually help break that down so that you can see the various different stages. And that can help you, because then you don't have to come up with some of this. You can help you get started. I'm not going to say it's the end all. It still needs to be reviewed by humans, but
Sure.
yeah. OKRs is another one. Objectives and key results that we have for the year. How are we aligning our enterprise strategy with our objectives that we want for this upcoming year? So that we take some of the data, we input that data and say, this is the type of year we had. We want to increase our year by this amount of money, or we want to be able to implement AI as a leader. Where are the areas that we could do this based on our history right now? And what we do know. Even if you don't have that data, it's going to give you back some ideas of what those OKRs are. And then you review it, but it's a good starting point. Sometimes we get so busy thinking about the forest, we don't see the trees, right? And so it helps us get started and helps us initiate a conversation with our other leaders so that we can create alignment.
If my forest would be the service I just subscribed to, which I believe is 3,000 different AI
Uh,
apps. Yes, it's overwhelming, from video to presentation production to, of course, every version of ChatGPT, Claude, every other one there. I could spend weeks,
mm,
24/7, going through all of it. Overwhelming,
wow.
overwhelming. Your company is Inotar. Tell me about that.
So Inotar has basically, it's where I actually get, I do all my books. I also do executive coaching at times. And so, I'm also, I use that for some of the other coaching that I needs, and the training that I need to do. That's more for private industry. But um, it's also provides, a platform for my books as well, and
Sure.
speaking engagements.
I love the concept of the book, AI powered leadership. Is it available yet?
No, 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 no. The concept in the draft has been completed,
By
and
AI, by AI, right? No, I'm kidding.
it's being reviewed. Right now, we're
By a
being
human.
editor. Yes, it is edited by human. Yep, yep.
Wow, way it should be. When do you think it might go to press to be published?
I think it's probably going to be next year. I would like to say this year, but I think with everything going on and this year, I can't believe it's already October.
I know when you say next year, it sounded like, oh my, well, that's a long time, Angela. It seems like the book's almost done. 2 months from now, it'll be next year.
Yeah,
Crazy.
yeah, editing is the main thing. But the other 2 books is coming out on Audible, by the way. We're going to have
Beautiful.
that on Audible. So we'll have all various different media that you can listen to those books by Christmas. So,
Excellent. Isn't it interesting the parallels that you're working on this book and it needs to be edited? And isn't that essentially what we're talking about with AI here, where you need a human to go through it, whatever data you collect, and cull through it and make sure it's accurate and get rid of the fluff and all of that? Kind of funny.
yeah, yeah. Editing is a big thing. I even participate in the editing. I mean, we do this as an agile, group, but my editor is a professional editor, and
Sure.
it's a team, and they are going through that now. But yeah,
Outstanding. Looking forward to it. AI powered leadership. Of course, you have the other books on your website. Can we go to the Inoatar website to learn more there?
you can. That is probably going to be changed and modified, but yes, you can right now. It's up and it's ready.
So that would be inoatar.com, right?
That's right.
Excellent. Angela, thank you for being here. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Steve. It's
Thank you.
always a pleasure. Thanks so much.
Likewise. We'll be
Okay.
right back.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.